Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. And I want to start by acknowledging that we're gathered here on the traditional territories of the Mississaugas of the New Credit. I want to just report back on a very important summit that took place this morning. But at the outset, let me just reflect on the conversations I had prior to the summit with some survivors of threats of extortion in Peel region. I was deeply moved by the emotion as well as the challenges that many have spoken about. Not just today, but in the past several weeks, I've had a chance to speak to many who have been impacted by extortion. It is a cowardly act that's meant to insert fear in individuals. One, where families are impacted, oftentimes moving out of their home, moving out of their community, and with the expectation that they will pay. What I want to ask those who are the subject of extortion, those victims, is to first and foremost call law enforcement. And secondly, please do not heed to the pressures of these criminals. I want to thank them. I want to thank the families and individuals I met today who continue to be challenged by these threats. And I want to assure them that today, the three levels of government and law enforcement in Canada have come together to ensure your safety and security. We have seen unprecedented levels of cooperation that happened today, and one that has happened for many, many years. But we have strengthened that today, and we look forward to concrete results coming out of this anti-extortion summit. All of us here today agree that we have to stop extortion and deal with the bad actors who are doing it. It starts with helping law enforcement here in Peel, and I want to acknowledge the work of Chief Nishan Duraiappah, as well as the women and men of Peel Regional Police, for doing such an important role in protecting their communities. Investing in extortion is difficult work that requires significant resources. As I assured our partners today, the federal government is keen to do its part. That is why I'm pleased to announce that the Government of Canada is providing Peel Region with up to $1 million to bolster the work of local law enforcement to combat extortion, support and provide services to victims, and build on efforts already underway through the Peel Regional Police Extortion Investigation Task Force. This task force provides rapid response while leveraging intelligence from federal partners, including the Canada Border Service Agency. The CBSA is committed to supporting the task force through the removal of inadmissible foreign nationals involved in extortion and other serious criminal offenses. In addition, thanks to the federal investment of over $4 million over 4 years through Canada's border plan, our government is establishing a new regional integrated drug enforcement team in partnership with the Government of Ontario and local authorities. And let me just take a moment to thank Minister Kerzner for his leadership and our partnership with the Province of Ontario, as well as members of the OPP that are here today, as well as those who are working around the clock to keep Ontarians safe. This will create a centralized hub for law enforcement resources from multiple agencies and jurisdictions. These are concrete and coordinated actions that will help protect communities, including Peel Region, from organized crime. They build on other federal initiatives, funding for gun and gang violence prevention, tougher laws and legislative reforms. Budget 2025 has also committed $1.8 billion over 4 years to strengthen federal law enforcement, including hiring 1,000 new RCMP personnel and 1,000 new CBSA officers. We've also allocated $390 million over 5 years to support provinces and territories through the initiative to take action against gun and gang violence, and $250 million through the Building Safer Communities Fund. Peel Region alone has received $8.14 million through this fund to strengthen community safety and provide young people with positive alternatives. We concluded today's summit with a pledge to continue working together to disrupt organized crime networks and protect businesses and residents across Peel Region and bring perpetrators to justice. To those affected by threats of extortion, please know that you're not alone. All levels of government, as well as law enforcement, the people here before you today want to help you. If you receive threats, we urge you not to comply with demands. Report the incident. You can also do so anonymously through Crime Stoppers or Peel Region's dedicated hotline that offers multilingual services. All of us have a right to live and work free of threats and intimidation. Our commitment to you is that we will keep working together to ensure that all Canadians have safe communities in which they live, work, and raise their families. Thank you. Secretary Sahota, over to you.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Minister Anandasangaree. As one of the local members of Parliament here in Brampton and Caledon, I know firsthand the fear and disruption that extortion-related crimes create in our community. These crimes are not theoretical, they are real, they are targeted, and their impacts on people's lives and livelihoods can be devastating. I receive at least 1 to 2 phone calls a week from people who get that call that they have been dreading. For people in Peel, it's not a matter of if, it's become a matter of when. There are 2 key takeaways for Canadians from today's summit. First, all levels of government are taking strong, coordinated action across federal, provincial, and local jurisdictions to protect communities and support those who have been targeted by extortion. This is a serious threat, and it is being met with a serious response. Second, today reinforced that everyone has a role to play, and that every organization at the table is fully committed to carrying out its responsibilities. Let me briefly speak to those roles. The RCMP plays a critical national role by leading transnational investigations and coordinating intelligence through the National Coordination and Support Team. That coordination ensures police services across the country have access to intelligence and operational support they need to disrupt organized crime and extortion networks. Our investments, in additional RCMP personnel are strengthening capacity. Here in Peel, the Peel Regional Police and the Ontario Provincial Police are leading frontline investigations, managing victim support, and deploying specialized units focused on evidence gathering, interviews, and risk management, working to lay charges and bring offenders before the courts. Peel Police's Extortion Investigative Task Force plays a vital role by responding rapidly at the community level while drawing on intelligence expertise and resources from provincial and federal partners. The Canadian Border Services Agency also plays a key role in protecting public safety by investigating and removing inadmissible foreign nationals involved in transnational organized crime while safeguarding the integrity of our borders. Through our border plan and investments in additional CBSA personnel, we are further strengthening these efforts. The bottom line is this: no individual and no business should ever face extortion, threats, or intimidation. This summit was about strengthening coordination between police services, between governments, and across jurisdictions. And we fully expect that that coordination will continue and deepen as we go forward. Because when all levels of government and all levels of policing work together, criminals have fewer places to hide and communities are safer as a result. And as Minister Anandasangaree has said, you are not alone. Today's extortion has resulted in deeper coordination. We are willing to disrupt, and we will punish and hold those responsible accountable. Thank you so much. I'm going to pass it over to the Solicitor General of Ontario.
Well, thank you, Minister, and thank you, Secretary of State. There is no higher priority for our government led by Premier Ford than protecting Ontario. Today's summit to combat extortion is an example that when all levels of government, municipal, provincial, and federal, come together with incredible stakeholders that work hard every single day to keep us safe, we will keep Ontario safe, and we will keep Canada safe. I want to acknowledge the work that CBSA does, that the RCMP does, that the OPP does, that our municipal police services and First Nations police services do every day to keep our province safe. This past summer, I had the privilege of traveling throughout Ontario and visiting many border crossings and seeing for myself that when governments work together, we will be imaginative, we will be innovative, and we will make sure that a person's inherent right to live safely in their own homes and communities is upheld and fulfilled every single day. Peel Regional Police Service, our host today with the federal government, is an example of a flagship police service that meets the mark, that meets the moment of being innovative and imaginative. Our government, led by Premier Ford, is very proud that since June of 2018, we have given Peel Regional Police Service over $160 million to make sure that they have the resources they require to combat crime right here and to keep beautiful Caledon and Brampton and Mississauga safe. Under the leadership of Chief Duraiappah, he has shown everyone who lives in beautiful Peel that they will not stop, they will not rest unless we combat crime in all its forms. You see, my friends, extortion is a way of creating more crime, and that's totally unacceptable. The proceeds from extortion exacerbate crime, and our government will, as I said, do what we have to do. We are a government of action, and when our government, led by Premier Ford, said that we would put more boots on the ground, over 2,500 new police officers came forward in 2025, over 300 of them right here in Peel. I want to thank my friend the Minister and the Secretary of State for not only working collaboratively, but taking measures and leadership that they have done by introducing pieces of legislation that the province of Ontario supports. Because when we work together, people of Ontario and people of Canada will know that there's someone who has their back. And I want to thank the Minister today for his announcement and his commitment to invest in our public safety and to invest in the Peel Regional Police Service. Thank you. Merci.
Thank you for the opportunity, Minister Anandasangaree, Secretary Sahota, and Solicitor General Kerzner, to speak to you on behalf of Peel Regional Police and my law enforcement colleagues on a very real issue that, needless to say, is catching the attention of this entire country. But needless to say, extortions are not a victimless crime. In Peel Region, it has had a profound effect in deeply affecting not only the individuals that are the victims of it, their families, their neighborhoods, and in our context, a broader community. And Minister Anandasangaree and Solicitor General Kerzner are right. What has made Peel Region such a vibrant and beautiful place to be has also allowed for certain elements to exploit vulnerabilities in our community. They are causing fear, intimidation, threats, acts of violence, and jeopardizing people's livelihood. These pressures not only erode trust, they damage the well-being of a community and undermines the security that is the foundation and the core of this fantastic country, and it's what our community deserves. For the victims, it's not just about money, it's fear in their homes, it silences people, isolates them, and makes them feel like they're facing these threats alone. That is completely unacceptable. Today is a remarkable testament to how, at a federal, provincial, and municipal level, across sectors, including law enforcement, that we can address this issue directly on. Here at Peel Regional Police, we have funded a 30-person dedicated extortion investigative team, which is our response, a strong response of dedicated individuals that recognize the need to respond to this trend that we're seeing. Extortions aren't just localized. In these cases, they are transnational criminal networks operating across borders, exploiting global communication platforms, moving finances and money internationally. And these networks take advantage of those vulnerabilities of geospatial instability, economic pressures, and the diaspora and the connections in these communities that are causing harm. What today represents is a remarkable one, and certainly in my 30 years have not seen such a coordinated response to an issue. I want to thank the federal government for their announcement today, and thank you for the dialogue that the summit has created across police agencies with my RCMP colleagues, the OBP, other municipalities, and CBSA, to have a discussion on what the potential solutions may be as we move forward. What's happening here is driven by global issues, geographic issues that are not constrained by the four walls of Peel Region. This means our response will be not just community-oriented, but globally informed, working closely with, as the minister said, victims, those that are affected, community leaders, partners provincially, nationally, and internationally to disrupt these networks and protect those being targeted. Let me be clear, intimidation in our communities have no place. We in policing have a strong role to do this, and we cannot do it alone. We are committed to holding those offenders accountable, supporting victims, and ensuring that fear does not infiltrate our communities. We will continue to work with law enforcement partners, government, and community organizations to confront this issue firsthand, locally, nationally, and internationally. With that, on behalf of Peel Regional Police, thank you for the ability to contribute to the solutions. We are looking forward to the many good things that are ahead, and thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Thank you very much, Chief. So we're going to move to the Q&A portion of this press conference. One question, one follow-up, or reporters I want to ask this item here. Please state your name, outfit, and so that you wish to ask your question. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ruby from Canada. Just to make sure you're French speakers or no? It's great being English. My first question is for the minister. We've seen that it was a similar investment that was being made a few weeks ago in British Columbia. Since then, have you seen any progress, any difference since you put this investment in British Columbia, in your West, for example?
We had a summit in Surrey, and the investments that we committed to have started to have some impact. It is too early, as you're aware. The holidays were last couple of weeks. It's too early to tell, but we're monitoring it very closely. What we wanted to ensure is that as certain regions of our country is addressing a spike in extortion, targeting particularly the South Asian community, we wanted to make sure that there's appropriate victim supports as well as other resources that law enforcement have needed. And with respect to BC, there's a lot of learnings from BC that we were able to communicate today at the table, and we look forward to building on the work in both jurisdictions.
And
Thank you. It's Nishan Duraiappah, Chief of Peel Regional Police. And absolutely, the funds, of course, are going to have a direct impact on our ability. Right now, the ability to respond to changing crime trends in communities is left to the police of jurisdiction. And within our resources, we have to often shift to whatever those needs may be. And in this particular case, what we've seen nationally and more acutely here at Peel, because of the unique nature of our region, is that the trend has been extortions. And not only has the police service, but our local elected officials, our mayors of our cities for Caledon, Brampton, and Mississauga, as well as our governance authorities, have been directly engaged at the provincial level and also at the federal level to find solutions for these type of issues. We know that the ideal solution is to have coordinated efforts across all partners that have the ability to mitigate the issue, which is extortions. One of the elements that is critical for us is obviously funding. And so this will have a direct impact for sure on our abilities to resource at least some of the 30 officers that are dedicated to this.
Thank you very much. Next question.
My next question actually might be tied into this. It could be for the minister or the chief, whichever is better to answer. Is $1 million in funding specifically going to investigate extortion for victims? I mean, this issue goes beyond Peel Region, like you mentioned. It's affecting Caledon, Orangeville had a shooting just 2 days ago. Those areas are under the jurisdiction of the OPP. So that $1 million going into Peel Regional Police, I mean, it can go to serve victims and victim services in those communities as well outside that jurisdiction.
Let me just take the first part of that question. Look, there's two elements to the funding. There's $1 million that's going directly to Peel Region on making sure that victims are supported and other resources for Peel Regional Police, and because we acknowledge the disproportionate impact of the work that Peel has been doing on this front. Of course, the announcement of $4 million to the province of Ontario will ensure that those funds are distributed towards drug enforcement in particular, which are all intertwined as criminal networks have vast areas of interest, including drugs, guns, gangs, and extortion. So we believe that those funds will be distributed in a manner that Minister Kerzner and the OPP feel appropriate and in an equitable manner. We have long-standing relationship with the province of Ontario, one that is grounded on trust, and we do funding of this nature in so many different ways, and we are always confident that Ontario has the ability to distribute the funds as required.
And maybe I can clarify a few things. I think it's important for the public to know that in Ontario and across this country, there is a very strong interconnection between policing agencies already. We have a long-standing history of combating crime in a really well-coordinated way, whether it be organized crime or otherwise. So, that mechanism between, Peel Regional Police, for example, the OPP, our surrounding municipalities exists already. So that is one that will continue to proceed the way it always has. The reality, though, is that there is an acute problem of extortions here in Peel, with over 470 in the last calendar year alone, just in Peel. And it continues to see a surge. It's very unique to our geographic area. So the support that may appear very localized is actually going right to where the source of the issues are at the moment. So that will allow us to actually coordinate better with our policing partners and be better equipped in that space. So that is essentially why the value of it, certainly to us in Peel, is critical.
I'm wondering if you could touch a little bit, because the $4 million is for a drug integrated team. If you could just touch a little bit more on the connection between, the drug enterprises and the extortion that kind of seems to happen in the region.
The $4 million dollars comes from our border plan, which was introduced in December of 2024, and the $4 million towards drug enforcement. The expectation is that as regions, as a province is addressing a number of major issues, there's a focus on drugs, and the resources that are now used towards enforcement and coordination on drugs can be redeployed towards extortion. There's also a greater link is the notion of polycriminality that we're seeing across the world, where transnational organized crime are deeply involved in human smuggling, on drugs, on issues of extortion, and these are all interlinked. So one of these elements, addressing one of them, will have inevitable impact on the other aspects of the criminality that we're seeing. Extortion is not a standalone, it is linked to many other types of crimes that are perpetrated by organized criminal organizations.
Good morning, this is Nitin Chopra from #Media. My question is for the minister. We had one of the biggest gold heist here in the Peel region, and Peel region is very vulnerable, and hats off to our law enforcement. But in the same scenario, one person who flew to US is behind the bars for last 3 years. All others here, they are out. Their trials has not started, except few court dates. 2 are still outstanding. Our law enforcement did their best to catch them, and yesterday one more mastermind he came back. Why can't we give Canadians a tougher laws so that we can also keep them behind the bars? It's a heinous crime what they did, taxpayers $20 billion plus. And when can we get, because opposition and government is not on the same page for jail, not jail and other crimes. Why can't we have tougher laws and resources and dedicated task force for the Peel region? Because our own law enforcement is looking for more and more scope to tackle these issues.
Thank you, and let me just commend the work of Peel Regional Police and other partners who are involved in addressing the gold heist from Pearson and the most recent arrest that took place yesterday, which involved a number of different agencies. The issues around crime have been top of mind for our government since we took office. 1/3 of bills introduced in Parliament directly are linked to criminal justice and borders. In fact, the issues around bail, issues around repeat violent offenders, issues around consecutive sentencing, and tougher sentencing on issues such as extortion and other matters are embedded in Bill C-14. Bill C-12 is now going through the House as well, which has some significant measures for border and border security. Bill C-16 is now also before the House that speaks to issues of delays and Jordan delays in the criminal justice system. The work of the federal government in the last 9 months is unprecedented. There hasn't been this level of investments, which now total over $4 billion in public safety, coupled with 6 bills that directly speak to criminal justice system. And I would say that the changes that you're suggesting are very well underway, and we look forward to its passage in Parliament. This is not all. I know the province has also undertaken a number of measures, and I wonder if Minister Kerzner wants to elaborate on some of your proposed changes.
Well, thank you, Minister. Our government comes forward twice a year with a spring and a fall justice bill, and we came forward just in December before we adjourned for the session. But what I can tell you, Nitin, is that we're not going to stop. We will look at every way that we can. One of the things that we came forward with, amongst other things, that will help prevent extortion is making the investments in the police services that we have done. $160 million is a big number, and part of that will go to support it. But I'm very grateful for the federal minister today to make the additional $1 million investment in Peel. Putting the more boots on the ground allows them to fight people that think it's okay to extort others, because we know it's not. I sat earlier this week with 88 new incredible individuals that came forward who will be the latest class to be badged, the largest class ever in Peel. That's because they came forward to the Ontario Police College and paid zero basic constable tuition, because the government of Ontario, led by Premier Ford, is investing $40 million a year just to cover it. More boots on the ground means the chief has more people that will help fight extortion and fight it hard.
My follow-up is also for Minister. Minister, you mentioned that extortionist victims are not alone. But in the last 4 years, we have seen that they are alone. They are alone, really alone, because there are a couple of reasons. Extortion and shootings are going on for too long. Many families, they move out of Canada. We have numbers and number of stories. They are sitting in Dubai, they are sitting in their home countries. Shootings happening, break-ins happening. Yesterday in Oakville, the car dealership was robbed for $2 million. Shipments are going with the same auto thefts. Shipments are coming in with drugs, and we have drug outlets here selling drugs openly. And then Peel Police, they need funding. Where Crown also said that dedicated task force is required for the Peel Police. Tools are required, same as British Columbia. Extortionists, they apply for the refugee status. Big loophole in British Columbia. That loophole should be plugged in. Kapil Sharma Cabs Cafe was targeted multiple times, and his shooter was arrested in India. How come he flew over from Canada? Host immigrations are working here for the last 3 years, and without having a RCIC license. It's all on the public domain, and residents are asking, why can't we have self-protection laws, CASA laws, if it's too long that extortions are going on, and they need a CASA laws, and we can give them protection, self-protection laws, so that one life lost is too many. What is your response? Because you are in charge of the public safety. Thank you.
Look, there are a number of questions that's posed there, or assumptions, and I'm not going to respond to all of them, but let me just broadly say the issues of public safety, as I indicated, is critically important to the federal government. We have invested close to $4 billion in the last 18 months alone. In terms of bills, we have 6 bills that are going through the House right now that impact a range of issues that you identify. With respect to the work of those who are using our asylum system as a last resort to manipulate and evade criminal responsibility, the message I have for them is that as Bill C-12 passes through the legislative process, it will ensure that they will be ineligible to seek asylum. Canada is a country that is open and welcoming to those who are seeking safety and security as asylum seekers. I came to this country as a refugee, but it is not to be used as a backdoor towards criminality.
Well, the number is much higher, as Chief Duraiappah has pointed out. So I'm just receiving a fraction of what we're seeing happen recently. And as Minister Anandasangaree pointed out, we met with a few of the victims today. But I would like to say that not all of those victims have been targets of shootings, but they have received a voicemail or a call. And that alone is extremely alarming when an individual receives such a call, because they want to know what they should do in order to create a safety plan. Oftentimes they've reported it to the police already. Sometimes, just like the deputy mayor said earlier today, sometimes we're the first call they make, because we are very connected in our communities as representatives, and so they're seeking guidance. Yeah.
Thanks, Steve. Yes, the extortions take the form of a variety of different things. At its most simplest form, sometimes it's telecommunications, messages, asking for money with the threat of violence. In all cases, it's a threat of violence to an individual, their business, or their family. It quite often is either followed by or preceded by actually an act of violence. And what we're seeing here in Peel, and it's not unique to just Peel, but you can look at Lower Mainland as well, is arsons. There's rounds being fired into businesses, homes, vehicles. There's a variety of different activities happening. It spills over into other markets. So the data, what we're seeing, of course, year over year, since 2023, is an increase in extortions. But one unique element that we're seeing here, particularly in Peel, is an increase specific to businesses and business owners themselves. So they either might be at their residence or at their place of employment. Steve.
So thank you for your question. The funding that over $1 billion in the border plan that Minister Anandasangaree mentioned, the 1.4, that's ongoing funding. So it hasn't stopped. That means we are deploying more technology at our borders, more officers are also included in that plan, and that all helps since Minister Anandasangaree was talking about how these criminal organizations are not just participating in one type of crime, but they are also dealing in drugs, dealing in guns. And so a coordinated approach and investing at all levels is important. The reason we had this summit today was to find out where the gaps are, how we can even coordinate even better, what different jurisdictions are dealing with, what is particular to Peel region. And that's why I just would like to say that I want to thank all the partners that are around the table. We had the Mayor of Caledon, Deputy Mayor Mississauga of Brampton, OPP, Peel Regional Police, CBSA, RCMP. All of those partners are very important in being able to sit down and discuss and create a more formalized coordination. This is a continuation of work that is ongoing, and it's not the end of work, but we look forward as the coordination heightens and continues and the investments are used to put an end to this type of extortion that we're seeing in our communities. That is our goal, essentially, is to make sure that, you know, as we see an increase in this year, that pretty soon we will see a decrease as more arrests are made and sentences are given out. Thank you.
It's not just the money, it's the continuance of the sophistication.